Hi, my name is Matt Henderson, the project lead for dSIPRouter. So today I'm going to walk you through an installation of dSIPRouter using DigitalOcean. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So I have my DigitalOcean UI open here, and I'm going to go ahead and create a droplet. I'm going to create it in Toronto since we are in Detroit, and Toronto is the closest data center. And I'm going to pick Debian. I'm going to pick Debian 12, which is the main OS in which I guess is our primary OS in which we do our development in. So I'm going to pick a regular CPU here. I'm going to pick, 2 gigabytes of memory and 1 CPU. I already have our SSH key installed. If you don't, you can create a SSH key, or you can just use password if you want to. But I prefer and I recommend that you use an SSH key. And I'm just going to name it. We're just going to name it our. This is what we're going to call it. I guess we'll call it video.dSIPRouter.net, right? So something we're creating for a video. And so we're going to go ahead and let that image be created. It'll take a few minutes, but we haven't did one of these videos in a while. Like we've had, one that we've done when we first started the project, but we really haven't updated it. So I felt it was this time for us to go ahead and update this video. So let's do it. Sorry. So we got our IP. We're just going to copy it here. And now that we have it there, we're going to switch over to our terminal. And we're going to SSH into that box. Oh, looks like it's not up exactly yet. So we'll give it a couple more seconds here. Yeah, there it is. All right, cool. So our box, we're all loaded here. So, all right. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and grab the, I'm going to go ahead and grab the actual URL to actually I know what it is. So dSIPRouter read the docs is where I grab all of my docs from, and what we're going to do is go to installing dSIPRouter, and we have install options here. I'll just take you through. It kind of tells you which ones are stable, which ones aren't, and then it actually has the if you go back up, you can actually get the commands installing on Debian. And we're going to we can do either you can type in each one of these commands, or we can do the one-line version. So we're going to actually install it using the one-line version, but we're going to do it for where we're going to proxy the audio. So that means the RTP engine is going to be installed. So I'm going to grab that command, and I'm going to drop it into my terminal. So I'm going to show it over at our terminal. And we're just going to hit enter. So this one liner here will go off and do all the package upgrades for the OS. And we'll go to GitHub, download dSIPRouter, and then it's going to run the install script. So it's a one-line install. So we're going to go ahead and let this install. All right, so we're back. It actually did the install. So we have a completed install. You can see the RTP engine was installed. dSIPRouter was installed. Here goes our system credentials. Yeah, this is everything we need to get started. A couple of things that you'll notice here is that you want to keep these credentials in a safe place because they're encrypted on the file system. So there's no way for you to really get them back easily. So you want to be able to write down the username. This is the UI username, the passwords, the API token if you plan to use the API at some point. And note that the API is actually you'll need a core license in order to run the API. So, but we provide the API token just in case you actually have a license and you apply it to doing the install process. And then the Camilio database username and the Camilio database password. So, people ask us like, why do we like have these super long passwords? Because we don't want dSIPRouter to be known as a system that people can easily hack into with very simple passwords or using some combination of words that people could easily figure out and crack. So now that we actually have our dSIPRouter instance up, let's go ahead and log in. All right, so I'm going to open up a browser here, and here goes our instance. We're going to plug in admin as the username, take the password that was generated for us, and log in. So what we want to do now is just validate that everything is working the way we expect it to. So what we're going to do is just create a endpoint group, and we're going to call this test endpoint group. We're going to make it username and password off. We're going to just create a username 6702. Doesn't matter what it is. And actually, we'll just leave this blank. So we'll just use the SIP domain here, which is the default sip.dsiprouter.org. And we'll just add it. Cool. We'll just do a reload for good measure. And so now what we'll go do is go ahead and register our soft phone. So I kind of did a little bit of the prereq here. We're just going to have to change the username to 6702. We'll grab the password here. And the outbound proxy is the IP address of the server here. So let's go ahead and give it a try. Make sure we didn't fat finger anything. All right, great. It turned green. And we're going to go ahead and make a call. And let's go to our terminal to kind of see what that looks like when we make a call. Let me start up sngrep, which is installed by default, which is a great tool for being able to see SIP traffic. And cool, looks like it's routing calls here. So right now it came over from my IP address, hit the dSIPRouter box, and went to this box here. The screen is, let's see here. Let's go ahead and see if we can make this a little smaller or make it bigger, wider for you can see. So it was actually trying to signal to a carrier. By default, we have some carriers that ship with it. So it's trying to hit that carrier. But the main thing is that we know that dSIP is now at least trying to route calls. So now it's ready for you to be able to set it up with your carriers and get it configured in order to ensure that it's working properly. And the key to this, I think, in a lot of cases, is before you hook up your free PBX system or your Fusion box or whatever your PBX is, use a Zoipier phone like I did or whatever the soft phone is that you like to use, and just ensure that it's able to route calls properly, and then try and add in your PBX. That way you know for sure dSIP is working, and then when you add in your PBX, now you can focus on ensuring that it's integrating properly with dSIP. All right, so talk to you soon, and thank you for watching. All right, take care.